Good evening and welcome to Wisdom Walk Talk here on Black Hole Radio and my YouTube channel, Wisdom Walk 2 Self-Mastery. I am your host and guide, Jojapa Maria and Saroma. All month long, I have been sharing my annual New Year's message for 2021, which comes after a year of great breakdowns and breakups. And now humanity really is primed for some major breaking through, some mind-blowing breaking through. 2021 is a water year according to the elemental wisdom of the Dagara tribe of Burkina Faso, West Africa, that I'm honored to keep. It's also the year of the metal ox according to Chinese astrology, and the first year of consciously living in the age of Aquarius. So tonight I am going to conclude this three-part annual message with talking about the blessing of the metal ox. I'm going to again just quickly review the elemental focus for these big breakthroughs that we can have this year, which is all about restoring flow. And I'm talking, of course, about the grief, the love, and the reconciliation. Then I'll share about the blessing of the metal ox for the Chinese New Year's, which begins on February the 12th. And then, of course, I'll leave you with a contemplative exercise. My opening quote for tonight comes from an astrologer by the name of Eugenia Lass. She's been doing astrology for over 20 years. Great website. I'll leave it in the description box below the video. But here's what she says about I am the ox. I'm here to fix and stabilize, to help heal and lay the foundation for unification and one for all. I will sort through the chaos, fortify and protect our values and assets, and speak the truth. My mission is to reverse the damage, bring integrity to the forefront, implement justice, law, and order, and deliver equality and freedom. I am the ox. Yes, yes, yes. So excited for this ox energy moving in. Now, as I said, the elemental focus for 2021, because it's a water year, is about letting go, letting in, and letting feel and letting in, which comes down to we have to consciously grieve. We have to consciously love ourselves unconditionally and extend that to others. And we have to also take on reconciling that which is not in alignment, that which is not making us feel peaceful, right? And when we take on those behaviors, those commitments, those intentions, we actually are going to create a breaking through energy from wherever in our lives, in our thoughts, in our work, in our understandings that we have been dammed up, where we've been stuck and where we've been blocked. And so 2021, with its water and energy, is designed to help us break through and get back into flow, because it is through flow that we can access our authenticity, our truth, and of course, most importantly, our experience of love, being loved and being loving. So, the metal ox, and you know, in Chinese astrology, you have one elemental animal every 12 years as a sequence, but they also have attached to them an elemental energy, right? So it's like the Chinese medicine wheel, like the Dagara. And so for this year, the ox comes with metal, and that combination of the metal ox won't show up again for another 60 years. Yeah. So it's really, really powerful. And here's the blessing of the ox. It's basically about devotion and determination for right relations. And what are right relations? That means things that the universe has ordained is what is right. And, you know, when we're born as children, we really know that. We know the difference between right and wrong. We really do. And some things we try to get away with, but, you know, there's an energetic in us that knows when we put our hand in that cookie jar, when we've been told to leave it alone, we know that ain't right. We know that ain't right. So, right relations, though, is important in the time we're living in because modern culture has had us adapt to things that aren't aligned, that aren't right, and call them that. That's kind of the paradoxical nature too of being alive. But we're entering into a time where it's like, okay, no, we can't play. You know, there's some things it's just right, and you need to honor that. So the ox is about preparing your ground for new seeds, right? Because the ox does this tilling of the earth. So it's tilling the earth, the grounding of your existence for that new energy that has arrived. The Age of Aquarius is really here. To resist is futile. The ox has come to reveal to you what your healing and growth work is now because you've graduated. And so especially to all of us who have been working on higher consciousness learning, healing from the ancestral wounds, healing from our core wound, you've been doing this work for over 20 years or more, you've graduated. If you've been doing it for even 10 years or more, you've graduated. You're at another level. And so what has been happening for most of us is that we have been cycling back around over some things, even though we've really graduated from them. And so what's happening now is this metal ox is going to come, and that energy is going to say, you know what, you're done with that, or you're done with that at that level. It's now either time to go deeper, or it's time to work on this. And the this that we have to work on, we may not be aware of. So be very careful if you get presented with a new opportunity to do some work on yourself, and you're saying, oh, I've done that. Oh, no, I did that. You know, if it's a new opportunity, if it's something that you probably said, 5 years ago, I wouldn't have even thought of that, go for it, because it's probably going to have something in it for you that the ox is bringing for you to be working on. Yeah. The ox year will push you to improve your life and emphasize how much better you can be. Yeah. Because again, this is a time for planting seeds, a time for really getting it that you can be more. You can do more, you can have more, you can be more. You can be in right relations with yourself and with the world and with others. And so from Eugenia Last, from her blog, she says that those who will do well during the year of the ox will be those open to conscious change. Yeah, conscious change. So here is the contemplative exercise for you regarding the blessing of the metal ox. And again, I will leave the link to Eugenia's post, and you can read more about what she's talking about. She gets into some more of the kind of world history stuff that's going on. So here's the first question for you. Where in my life am I stuck? Still thinking, doing, and being what I no longer need to be. Number 2, what new opportunities for healing, growth, and evolution are showing up in my life? Important to be aware of that. And then last but not least, where and how am I resisting these opportunities for growth and healing and evolution, and why? Why am I resisting? Yeah. Definitely set intentions to allow the water element focus on the grief, the loving unconditionally, and the reconciliation bring you the answers, okay? It's all connected. It's all connected. And of course, ask your higher and greater order and direction, which can include your ancestors, spirit guides, loving entities, angels, Pleiadians, whatever. Ask them to help you. They got your back. They really, really want you to evolve, to go forward. Yeah. You know, and I think most of you know that have been watching this regularly that I lost my beloved Miss Sarah back in December. And I committed to doing a conscious 40-day mourning and grief process, which I'm so glad I did. And I highly recommend to anyone who is losing someone they love as a result of 2020's disease of COVID, or like Miss Sarah, was just very natural. It was old age. It was her time to go. When you take this grief time, what it does, it slows you down and allows you to really allow yourself to take care of yourself. In Western culture, we're so ready to just put things, have it done, put it aside, and act like, okay, I'm done. I cried once and I'm good. But that's not how life really works. And a process where you lose someone you love is about healing you and growing you. And you won't be able to get access to the blessing of that, the treasure of that, if you don't allow yourself to consciously grieve, consciously slow down, consciously allow yourself to be messy, like I've just allowed myself to be messy. So today marks the 40th day of my grief process, and I've learned so much through it, especially how to better take care of myself going forward. And so I wanted to find a way to continue to honor Sarah's presence. She was so essential in me doing these broadcasts every Sunday. She really prepared the house, made sure nobody was calling on the phone. She was always on it, always listening, always my audience. And so what I've decided to do is, she had given me access to this book of her, 2 books of hers, where over, oh my God, I guess a 30-year period, she'd been writing down passages from quotes or words of inspiration, or even from her own head, of things that she could read, and they would help her remind her of the truth of who she is and what life is really about. And so I've decided that every week I will share a Sarah saying with you. And this week, the saying is this: life always supports us in where we want to be. Life always supports us in whatever changes we want to make. Ashe. Ashe. So I'm closing out tonight, as always, with a big thank you to my wonderful engineer, Miss Yvette Parker, and to the entire Black Hole Radio Be Well family for their continued support of my work. I couldn't do it without you. I also want to shout out to all my regular listeners out there, to those of you who have wisdom walk with me, and you know who you are, to my family, my spiritual kin, my transformational leadership colleagues, and my medicine brothers and sisters like Queen Reverend Dagara around the world, and to those who may be listening in for the first time. I love you and thank you so much. I could not do this without your support. Now, I will do my next live broadcast on Sunday, February 7th. And in between, I will rebroadcast for you the first and the last of these podcasts. The book, Wisdom Walk 2, Self-Mastery, Ancient Wisdom for Transforming Pain, available through Amazon, Kindle, Barnes & Nobles, Abe's Books, and other online booksellers. It is still out there and easy for you to access. And last but not least, I want to thank my God, my ancestors, my spirit guides, my loving entities, everything that walks with me, keeps my head to the sky, my feet to the ground, and my heart open to do this important work with and for all of you. Now, have a safe, healthy and happy Earth Week. Open up to receiving. And remember, COVID is still around. In fact, it's getting even more intense. So practice science safety. Avoid perceived safety, especially with your family. There's a new strain out here in LA. They've found it now, of course. And so this isn't a time to let your guard down or take risk. Wear your mask. Wash your hands. Practice social distancing and safe relating. And most importantly, pray. We all need to be praying. And remember, it's not just happening in your community, it's every community, and it's around the world. And so I want to end again and thank you for listening in and say, remember, you are not disposable. You are divine. Good night now.